kids. This is our second time we've had Sunday school online, and it's been an interesting time, and I just know you've all been trying to follow the rules and do the right thing, and so have we. So anyway, you guys know where I am. I'm at the Praise Center, and our story today is going to be one of the parables, or not one of the parables, one of the stories Jesus told about reaching out to people and telling them about his love and how he wanted us to treat each other. And our story today is about Zacchaeus. And I'm first going to read the scripture from Luke 19, verse 1 through 10. So I'll have my head down for a few minutes reading that to you. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was very wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he could not because of the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was going to be coming by that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today." So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly. All the people saw this and began to mutter, "He's gone to be a guest at the house of a sinner." But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give you half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay them 4 times that amount." Jesus looked at him and said, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost." Now I'm going to read you a story that kind of goes along with that. And it's a fun one, and it has beautiful pictures again, because I've been trying to pick out pictures that you could see while I was reading. And this one is The Man Who Was Too Little. And this is a paraphrase of Luke 19, verses 1 through 10 that we just got done reading. Zacchaeus was too little, and he was too little to reach high things. He was too little to see over big things. Look at how small he is. Little, tiny, tiny man. Bet he had a hard time doing everything. And one day Zacchaeus almost didn't get to see Jesus because he was too little. Look at him trying to see through all the feet of all the people. And he's trying to peek through their robes and trying to see, and he can't see a thing. Have you ever been to a parade and stood behind a whole bunch of tall people and then wished you could get up and see? I'm sure that's a little bit how he felt. "Jesus is coming down the street," somebody said. "Let's go out to see him." So all the people were really excited, because whenever Jesus came to town, there was always a crowd waiting to see him. Now Zacchaeus wanted to see what Jesus looked like. So when other people hurried outside, Zacchaeus hurried too. How is he going to be seen in all those people? The little street was full of daddies and mommies and grandpas and grandmas and uncles and aunts and boys and girls and friends, all wanting to see Jesus. Look at that crowd. That crowd. Look, especially I like this one little guy here sitting on his daddy's shoulders, because you can see his dad's head. You have ridden like that, I'm sure, before, when you've been at a parade or something with your parents or with somebody like Grandpa. Or, "Here he comes," a man shouted. "Here comes Jesus now. I see him. I see him." See Jesus way off in the crowd over here. All the people are waiting for Jesus to come. Zacchaeus tried to see too. First he looked this way, and then he looked that way. Look, he's searching underneath people's clothing, and then he gets a step stool and he's trying to stand on a step stool and see. He's just too little. But there were too many people, and Zacchaeus was too little. He couldn't see Jesus at all. And he's so sad. He came all that way to see Jesus, and look at now, he can't see him. "What shall I do?" Zacchaeus thought. "I know, I'll run and climb up the big tree. Then I can see him." Look at he's got sitting on his stool, and he's thinking of a plan, and he thinks of a tree to climb up on. He must know there's one nearby that he can get to. Too little Zacchaeus started to run. "Go, Zacchaeus, go fast." He came to the tree. Climb, Zacchaeus, climb fast. See, he's running down the road. Then he gets to the tree and he's climbing up in the tree, getting there as high as he can get. Now Zacchaeus was up high. He could see the daddies coming, and the mommies, and the grandpas, and the grandmas, and the uncles, and the aunts, and the boys, and the girls, and the friends. And then, see him sitting up there in the tree? You think he's going to see him? Zacchaeus saw Jesus. Jesus stopped at the big tree. He looked right up at Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, he said, hurry, come down. I'm coming to your house. Can you imagine how happy that made Zacchaeus feel? He'd waited and worked so hard to see Jesus. Well, too little Zacchaeus did hurry. He went down the tree fast, and then happy Zacchaeus took Jesus home for dinner. He's so happy to take Jesus home. Then he can sit and talk to him all by himself. Wasn't it wonderful that Jesus actually knew Zacchaeus and knew Zacchaeus was up in the tree? And he knew Zacchaeus' name. But what does that mean for you and I? You know, we go through life and we're small and we're little and we sometimes feel unimportant even as adults and as grown-ups. And yet, Jesus knows us, he knows our name, and he loves us. And we can always reach out to him and tell him that I'm here, I need to listen to you, and please be with me all through my day. And I think if we remember that, we'll remember the theme of what the story of Zacchaeus was about. You have a great week, and we will probably see you next week unless we can open up the church. So I think it will probably be this way. So you take care and wash your hands.